van Nassau ben ik van Duitsland bloed. Den vaderland getrouw blijf ik tot als behoed. Aan prinsen van Oranje ben ik vrij onverweerd. Den koning van Spanje heb ik altijd geëerd. Mijn schild en de betrouwen zijn gij, o God, mijn Heer. Op u zo wil ik bouwen, verlaat mij nimmer meer. Dat ik toch vroom mag blijven, uw dienaar allerstond. De tirannie verdrijven die mijn hart doorwand. Allons enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé. Contre nous de la tyrannie, l'étendard sanglant élevé, l'étendard sanglant élevé. Entendez-vous dans les campagnes mugir ces féroces soldats? Ils viennent jusque dans nos bras, égorger nos fils et nos compagnes. Aux armes, citoyens, formez vos bataillons, marchons, marchons, qu'un sang impur abreuve nos sillons.
Where over the world, say where you'd find an island there, so lovely small, with nations free, with people French and Dutch, though talking English much, as decent Martin in the sea. Oh, sweet St. Martin's land, so bright thy beach and strand, with sailors on the sea and harbors free, where the chains of mountains green furiously in sunlight sheen. Oh, I love thy paradise, nature's beauty very nice. Oh, I love my paradise, nature's beauty very nice. Saint Martin, I love thy name, in which Columbus fame and memories of old are closed. For me a great delight, thy Southern Cross tonight. May God the Lord protect thy coast. Oh, sweet St. Martin's land. So bright by beach and strand, with sailors on the sea and harbors free, where the chains of mountains green variously in sunlight sheen. Oh, I love thy paradise, nature's beauty very nice. Oh, I love thy paradise, nature's beauty very nice. Oh, I love thy paradise, nature's beauty very nice. Oh, I love my paradise, nature's beauty very nice. Oh, so very nice.
Wise is the man that whom seeketh not to chase after a shadow that is merely a reflection of what is perceived to be the reality. 1648, 1863, Concordia, St. Martin. Gather around, gather around. Let us be reminded of the Concordia, desert chords. For she speaks of a harmony that we have longed for, but have never fully belonged to. For it is clear as the sky that washes over us, the mountain of imbalances that rises amidst us, while mirages of true harmony downtrots and eludes our sights. We gather around to remember. We gather around to reaffirm on a day that marks in history of a history between two sovereign states, France, Holland, who sought to coexist in a decreed state of being on this rock. Swaliga 1648 marks a pact that pronounced in itself of a parlay of cooperation, friendship, and alliance from this day to date forward, to each one hand that shall watch the other. 1863. Landmarks the Isle of St. Martin. St. Martin, a bird given to a treaty, an equity of so-called balance, forging the understanding and the workings of the fringes on which we are acting today. As we gather dignified each year to commemorate this decree of cooperation, the burning desire to cast aside doubts, concerns, and disquiets about why do we really meet is but an astounding, re-astounding heartbeat at bay. This treaty that is only of high significance just but once a year should be able to forego just this date, time, and place. As we gather around to commemorate, the pondering rips at the core Are we truly advocating the true essence of its meaning? Or do we gather merely to regurgitate an appeasing sermon that boasts of long-winded facades that escapes and escapes and escapes through the ear just as quickly as it was orated? We gather around to remember. We gather around to commemorate. But do we ever stop to wonder what we are truly valuing and celebrating? Are we truly valuing our people? Are we truly valuing our people, our heritage, our togetherness? We have at our grasp an opportunity to recapture through provisions that exist at our clutches, that exist at our clutches, that exist at our clutches, where we can truly work together, where we can truly walk shoulder by shoulder, where we can truly be each other's brother and sister under the correct context and not just under some pretext. But if only we set aside our reflexes to outflex each other and instead work on humble and modest objectives that will reinforce the spirit of unity, the spirit of togetherness, the spirit of cooperation, via the establishment of a body that will guide us gently to new horizons. As we gather around to commemorate, let us agree to start from today to foster the message that the Treaty of Concordia, in our vision, should be implemented in a principle that illustrates and protects our way of living, the way how we should really unify this nation. My name is Melissa Fleming, and this was 1648, 1863, Concordia, St. Martin. I thank you.
With, with protocol being established, good morning. As we gathered here today, I can say the Treaty of Concordia is an agreement that is standing the test of time. And it is as relevant as it is today as it was the day on which it was agreed on. It is fair, it is accepted, and it is good for the people. When reading the Treaty of Concordia, you would realize that the value of this agreement is accepted and owned by the people today, even though it has transcended through time. Over 300 years is a long time. I believe it is fair to say that the people of St. Martin, both sides, has become one with this agreement. The Treaty of Concordia speaks of unity, of being fair in our dealings with each other, and the continuation of living in peace on this one island divided in two by two administrations. Adhering to the treaty is when we do as the young people of St. Martin did on Saturday. They got together and had an event. Adhering to the Treaty of Concordia is when we, the people, do what we do during carnival season. We dance in our own style from side to side. Adhering to the Treaty of Concordia is when we do what the people did and do every 11th of November. They run around the whole island. Adhering to the treaty is doing what we do, like on days of the 16th of September when the border is closed. We get together to demonstrate. We believe the values of the Treaty of Concordia, and when it is threatened, we come together. As Minister of Education, Culture, and Sports, I will do what has to be done in order for the Parliament of the Dutch side to formally recognize this treaty. Happy Treaty of Concordia Day. May God continue to bless the people of St. Martin. I thank you.
Exactly 373 years ago, on this very day, we officially became one in destiny. History could have decided to have us separated, thus having a physical border like it was done in Hispaniola, Haiti, and Dominican Republic. Whom would have thought that at a time where disorder characterized the relationship between European countries, that somewhere over the seas, you have those who would say that the day had come to put an end to the rivalry between France and the Netherlands and make of this island an exemplary of working together and managing jointly. On this day, a change was introduced for the island of St. Martin, setting before us new obligations, new agreements, a complete new sense of duty. On this date, our coexistence began. On this day, our independence began. On this day, our shared responsibility began. Since 2018, I have been saying it and I will repeat. The time for much cooperation to be formalized is now. We can no longer continue to believe that the said treaty that was initiated 373 years ago still stands as it is. It has been proven that at any time it can be put to question. I leave you here today with these following questions. How long will we wait to do what is obvious? How long will we continue making excuses of acting on it? Need I remind us that where there is a will, there is a way. It is high time that we put country St. Martin, not French, not Dutch, not North nor South, not Saint Martin or Saint Martin, but Saint Martin in its original writing version, above self, parties, and excuse of status. Lao Tzu once said, and I quote, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step," and I call on each and every one of us here today to make that step. May the spirit of friendship and alliance continue to drive us to find new mechanisms for a better governance of general affairs of this island of St. Martin. Long live the spirit of the Treaty of Concordia. Long live St. Martin. Thank you very much. Je vous remercie.
Where over the world, say where. You find an island there so lovely small, with nations free. With people, French and Dutch, they say, though talking English much. As my St. Martin, as your St. Martin, our sweet St. Martin in the sea. Honorable and distinguished guests, people of St. Martin, good morning. Today, March 23rd, 2021, though having special significance for me as the day I became a mother for the first time, is the day that we celebrate Treaty of Concordia Day. As Madame VP Valérie Damaso said, since 2018, we have been working to make it more than about nice speeches, as Melissa just said as well. As the youth said on Saturday, the time for talk has finished. Let today be the last day we only just talk about it. Today, standing on Concordia Hill, at the edge of Marigot Hill Road, where if you look to my left, you see the range of mountains or hills, and the right that partition this island. But as we also know, when Melissa talked about 1863, and we could go back to 1848 when Georgie Bina Haidam, Clara, they could not say that one side was free while the other still enslaved. Recognizing 373 years of actions of two countries, two representatives who determined that in the interest of peaceful coexistence of their citizens during a colonial era plagued by the constant changing of hands by European powers, all during a time, as the youth represented to us on Saturday, far removed from the realities of today. Over these centuries, the passage of time has wrought many changes in the development throughout both communities. Changes in our customs, our nationalities, in the ways that we live. However, the treaty and that spirit of that Treaty of Concordia lives on. The treaty, though outdated in its language and even limited in its statements, is the basis, is the root of the foundation and the foundation of the cooperation still evident today. Though you may not know, though the general public may not know, cooperation does happen on a daily basis. Cooperation that sustains us, and sometimes the challenges with cooperation that bring us pain and continue to force us to seek ways to resolve them. One outstanding young St. Martiner, Janique Gibbs, stated these wise words during the youth dialogue. That's what I call it. When people speak to each other, listen, hear, listen, and then decide to act. I call that dialogue, not just discussion. And this dialogue on the treaty last Saturday touched my heart, which I immediately shared on my social media page. And I will share with you this morning. I also took the time to speak to the young lady, as with many others. And she stated, and I quote, and I heard Madame Vepe also use it, you would wonder if we live in the same house. Saint Martin, let me say it exactly as I think she said it. Saint Martin and Saint Martin complement each other. No side can do without the other, unquote. None of us know this better than I with the experience of the past year. With the rapid changes in our constitutional statuses on both sides over the years, the need to evaluate, amend, and improve this treaty is long overdue and has never, I repeat, it has never been more timely. While cooperation pertaining to law enforcement, health, culture, education, youth, sports, environment, and so much more continue on a technical level, what is lacking is a concerted effort by a unified body of elected representatives to take the necessary step to really unify our actions in this regard. And these challenges were ever more highlighted during this pandemic and cannot ever go ignored. Seeing the complexities of today, the realities we face, Responsibilities, if you look at these four flags that sometimes lie with the Dutch kingdom, with the French state, or with each of our elected officials, whether they be the parliaments or the governments, we are making strides. We are making strides in the improvement of our communication and collaboration as separate entities. In the end, it will all boil down to the willingness of each party to hear the words, but listen and take them to heart, understand what the other is trying to say, and validate what we can agree with, find common ground based on mutual respect, and make decisions that are conducive to our cooperation, collaboration, and unity in the best interest of all our people, our shared economy, and our sustained development in an ever-changing world where you see by the blue flag with all those gold stars that unity across the Atlantic came way after this treaty and can exist, can work. But again, mutual respect is the basis of that. Together with my government, I have committed to monthly meetings with Prefet Délégué Serge Goutheron, representing the French state, and many of the responsibilities that we hold that we must discuss. Monthly meetings. This was never done before. I also commit to, with my council, meeting on a regular basis. We haven't determined yet, monthly or quarterly, with the collectivité. And in fact, in our next meeting, I have asked that the collectivité always be present as well, because it is only truly unified that we can execute the much needed change that St. Martin needs. As locally elected and appointed representatives, North and South, the executive branch and the Council of Ministers have pledged to find, meaning the collectivité and the Council of Ministers have pledged to find a structural way to meet together and discuss moving forward, realizing a united governing entity for St. Martin. And I know President will talk about this when he gets here, but he usually calls it St. Martin United Congress. I am seeing your vision. And it is at a time like this that I say it is timely. The time for action is now. This Congress would function like the EU on 37 square miles and would form the platform for us to amend agreements, update them, the treaties, and take into consideration our local context and our current situation. At St. Martin and Saint-Martin, we can both agree that much groundwork by technical experts on both sides will be needed before this vision is realized. Steps have started in the 2014-2020 agreements made and funded by the 11th EDF, that a platform such as this can be started. And so today, we pledge to appoint a task force of technical experts across sectors in a platform on both sides to come with a plan of action that tackles the best legal construct to execute decisions jointly in the best interest of sustainable development of our island. 37 square miles of magic located in the northeastern Caribbean, the tiniest geographical area to be surrounded by water and shared amicably between two separate governments for more than 373 years. We are unique, a special nation, and it is the preservation of our family bonds, friendship, and shared social and economic realities that we must move towards an updated treaty rooted in the needs of our community today, but with the vision of the community we want for the future. In the youth dialogue on Saturday, and I must say, people who for the first time see this is a yearly, ongoing discussion, collaboration, and cooperation because of the two youth departments on French and Dutch St. Martin, and hardworking youth leaders who ensure that they are educated, meet, discuss, dialogue, and come to conclusions every year. And so, in their proposal, which was handed to President and myself, called Relaunching Cooperation, the Way Forward, they highlighted some key areas which I would like to highlight here. And I know this is a bit longer than expected, but sometimes it's important, as they are not here today, to ensure their voice is heard. One, reopen negotiation with our partners on a new basis for cooperation. Two, write a new draft agreement or treaty of cooperation based on friendship and cooperation. Three, the population and local authorities validate the project in public debates and referenda. So, coming to you, the people, signing for a new and updated treaty or an installation of the piloting authorities. Five, setting up a cooperation council. President, United Congress, from their mouths. Decide on cooperation programs of common interest annually. Wow. When I heard that, when I read this document presented to me, this document from the CTG and the St. Martin Youth Parliament, I got chills. I get chicken skin, like we say, because what we conceive and think about today, if it lives by them, it will survive. It has a future. There will be continuity. And so, key areas that the youth have defined in their talk were education, history, and cultural awareness, tourism, health, economic development, environment, waste management, energy, water, and more. And these are all the same that exist in what we have put forth as well. I'm not going to go into the full discussion that I would have had with both Madam Valerie Damaso when I was ECYS, Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport Minister, and what I continue to have with President Daniel Gibbs. But suffice it to say that with the right persons in place, with the same vision, we can all get information and ensure that the necessary updates to this treaty happen in our lifetime. Let not another day that we commemorate Treaty of Concordia or even St. Martin Day come without us seeing progress that is further than we are today. I want to repeat. St. Martin and St. Martin complement each other. No side, I repeat, no side can do without the other. Janique Gibbs, look out for her. I see leadership in her. And as Lino said, we are one island, one people, one destiny. And for me and the people of St. Martin, and for you, President, and your council and our councils, the governor and the prefet, the time for talk is done. Let us take action. And I promise that we will get the result. Happy Treaty of Concordia Day. Long live the treaty, and may we also live to bring the necessary amendments.
Well, well, well. As they say, protocol has been established. I could as well come here and just say, after the reading of the Treaty of Concordia, after the anthems that were sung beautifully, actually, I will ask you to applaud them again because it was beautiful. After the first speeches, I really don't know what next to say because everything have been said, even the preaching. But when I listen to the Prime Minister, when I listen to Valerie, I say we're on the right track. And that's to answer Melissa that read us a beautiful poem. And as you said, Prime Minister, it's time to act. And we are going to act. We've been speaking about it for so long, and I'm happy to hear all these words. I will come to it later in my speech. I'm not going to be too long because you've said it all. I have some message also to pass across in our language. Um, and to Valerie, yes, a lot of work was done with everyone. You know why I'm saying that. I think today is an important date. Some strong message were passed. I'm not going to come back to them, but I guess everyone and each and everyone heard them today. Chers amis, and Madame la Première Ministre, I just want to remind you something that you didn't say with all when you spoke about that blue flag with the yellow stars inside. You said that if this constitute strength by uniting ourselves, I just want to remind one thing: 1648 was before Europe, and Europe, Saint Martin was Europe before Europe, with this specificity of having one country Dutch, one country French, one in Europe, one out of Europe, and we was this before the time. So we are the example.
Today, March 23rd, 2021, we come together from the north and south of our shared island to commemorate the Treaty of Concordia. What better place to do so than at this location on Concordia Hill? We do so in the spirit of the treaty's principle of peaceful coexistence between the people of St. Martin. The treaty recognized the need and value of cooperation for the development of our island. Since the signing of the treaty 373 years ago today, its principle of peaceful coexistence has endured in the face of numerous and recurrent challenges and threats. Speaking of challenges, we need not look far. For over a year now, we are faced with the realities of the unprecedented impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on our health, our economy, and our way of life. And this, following the devastation caused on our island by Hurricane Irma just 3.5 years ago. Throughout these challenges, we were and continue to be reminded of the interconnectedness of our island and our people. We were reminded that whatever affects the north affects the south of our island and vice versa. We were reminded that we form a natural bond that transcends across our north-south border. A bond anchored in the geographic reality that our island is one island. Anchored in our social reality that we are connected through close family ties and friendships. Anchored in our cultural reality that we have a shared history and traditions. And anchored in the economic reality that we form an economic union. In short, a real enduring bond that shaped our way of life. Passed on from generation to generation, our way of life of peaceful coexistence has served to help shape and develop our friendly island into a truly unique Caribbean gem, our sweet St. Martin land. Today's commemoration, therefore, reconfirms the importance and value of our enduring bond and interactions. Faced with increasing threats from climate change and global pandemics, as well as global challenges around us, The treaty reminds us, as have been said by various speakers before me, that we must respond with greater cooperation and coordination to secure our future. We must do so in solidarity and with determination to meet the real and practical needs of the people of our shared island. That is true, real, effective cooperation to secure work for and protect the health and safety of our people. My fellow St. Martiners, a lot have been said here today and I can go on, but I would keep it short and say in closing, therefore, on this 373rd anniversary of the Treaty of Concordia, let us therefore draw inspiration from its principle of cooperation to create new opportunities and secure the well-being of current and future generations of St. Martiners. Thank you, God bless you, and may God bless St. Martin and protect its coast.
My island in the sun, my island in the sun. Oh, as the sea calls out my name, the sun and sky rings out in chorus. As I feel gentle breeze, the sun and sky rings out in chorus. Take me to that other land where the sky and the sea collide. Take me to that other land where the sky and the sea collide. As the sea calls out my name, the sun and sky rings out in chorus. As I feel the gentle breeze, the sun and sky rings out in chorus. Take me to that other land where the sky and sea collide. Take me to that other land where the sky and sea collide. I feel the gentle breeze, the ocean calls to me, and in my heart I know, calling me home. I feel the gentle breeze, the ocean calls to me, and in my heart I know, it's calling me home. So take me to that other land where the sky and sea collide. Take me to that other land.
Unity. That day, the monument took a beating. I watched as wave after wave of rainfall cleansed it, yo-yoing its visitors, relay runners resting on and around its steps, or waiting close by in teams. Competitors stood on the thin strip of the border to receive the baton. From a distance, across the road, I watched the scene set up and break down. The havoc of temporarily parked cars, dripping bodies, exhausted from the run, or ticking with spewing energy. Nothing pulled me from the comfort of my vehicle until a solo pianist unloaded her instrument from the trunk of her mother's vehicle, set it up beside the monument, and began to beat the delicious silver in a way that resurrected a familiar tune from its inner being, the St. Martin song. I was out the Jeep, crossing the road. Maybe I was here for this private celebration. No large crowds, no performing, just listening to the steel pan play like I had many decades ago. Listening to York give birth to this instrument in the sacred Middle Region forest, the hollow panging of labor pains, listening to his sons and daughter play over and over again. I stood next to the filming mom, and I also raised my phone to film beside her. I had never been this far and close to division. What we have here is sweetness. At the meeting place of our differences, an effervescence puncturing through centuries like a fist. Unity isn't brick. Unity roams among our people, unlike any other dual existent territory in our region. We sweet, but be careful. There is a flag we reach for when we feel ourselves being torn in two. Our battle anthem, our oneness, a calling card.
St. Martin is my home.
And I'll do but anything to make it bloom. I think of it, dream of it in the morning, night, or noon.
St. Martin is a wee home.
And to it I give my life to keep it shining.
With the sunshine that comes out in the morning. We made a sacrifice to get it where it is now.
Yeah.
With all our smiling faces, we shared some hard times.
Now nobody wants to give it up to someone who he thinks doesn't know or care about yesterday's and today's hard times we bear.
St. Martin is my home.
And I'll do but anything to make it bloom. I think of it, dream of it in the morning, night, or noon.
St. Martin is a wee home.
And to it I'll give my life to keep it shining.
With the sunshine that comes out in the morning.
All I wanna see is
One island, one people, one destiny.
When I look, I see it.
One island, one people, one destiny.
We gotta come together.
Come together.
Work together.
Work together.
Come together. As one. together.
Come together.
Work together.
Work together.
Come together.